Friends, it is about more than just weight loss, right? Getting healthy, getting strong, getting fit. Weight loss is a byproduct. And I really want to emphasize this because I know in my languaging and my messaging at times, right, I'm focusing on weight loss, but weight loss is just the surface. It's the byproduct of stewarding your body better. And, if you lost 10 pounds, would you be happy with that? Right? Like, and why? Why does it matter if you lost 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 100 pounds, right? What do you believe the losing the 10 pounds would bring you? What would it make you feel like? Right. And it's most likely you're after a feeling that you believe that if you lose this weight, that you'll then feel energetic, vivacious, more attractive, more confident, whatever the thing is, whatever the story is. Right. And after working with dozens and dozens of women and speaking to hundreds and hundreds of women, right. And really finding that it's so much more than just about weight loss, right? It's about something so much deeper. And it usually falls into two categories. And one of the categories is like you have to lose this weight because X, and then I'll be X. So you have this belief that in order to be more loved, in order to feel accepted, in order to be good enough, in order to be attractive, in order to get whatever, you have to lose this. Because if not, then you can't have that. And so it's really anchored and rooted in the feeling of unworthiness and not being worthy or deserving. And the other category, I find women who are after weight loss, right? Which again, we know is that surface level, but we're after a change. And that's because they feel that they're not living the way they're supposed to be living, that they are not stewarding well the body they were given. They know that if they want to be around for a long time, if they want to create a new legacy for their family and not be a statistic, right? Like maybe other people in their family, and they know that it's time for them to take back their body and their health. That's what they're after. They're after that stewardship. They're after that change. But you notice the difference, right? There's lack, less than, and like, hey, I got this body. I'm going to take care of it. Like, let's go. What do I need to learn? And it's looking at where do you fall? What category are you falling into, right? Category 1 or category 2. So if you're falling into category 1, like, how do you move through when you're in there, right? When you're realizing that you have these stories that are holding you back. And I shared this a few times, but when I first got into doing personal training, and I had been working on my own journey for, probably almost a decade before I decided to pursue this, get out of corporate and go into health and fitness and start as a personal trainer. I had this belief that I had to look a certain way in order to have clients, in order to be effective. I had to look the part. I had to look a certain way. And that was a belief. And I was trying to achieve and change the way I looked so I could present myself in a way that really wasn't authentic to me. It's not how I was anointed and called to show up. When I came to that realization, realizing I had the wrong heart, right, of what I was doing, it wasn't working. I was getting frustrated. No wonder why. It's because my body, one, wasn't created to try to do that. Two, I wasn't doing it off the right heart. And when I let that go and moved into a place of like, I want to have energy and vitality and be able to rough house with my kids and pick them up and do horseback rides and be around when they have kids and get up and off the floor and go hiking and do all these outdoor things and activities that I really wanted to do and be able to do them with ease and not wonder, oh, can I do this? Oh, no, like I wanted to train my body to do the things that I wanted to do. And that was where that shift happened. And when we make that shift, then it's so powerful because it's so empowering, because it's now based on being in alignment with what the Lord calls us to do. And we're called to steward well what we've been given. We didn't create this body, right? God did. And it's a gift. And what we do with this gift, our body, is our gift back to God. And so if we're not stewarding well what we've been given, if we're not putting food in our body that's going to nourish us, if we're not drinking and hydrating, right, and giving our brain what it needs, right, we're not going to be able to function, we're not going to be able to think clearly, and we're eating foods that don't nourish us but hinder us, it doesn't just hinder us, it hinders those around us, it hinders those who we are attached to, it hinders those that God has assigned to us that we're not being able to see or welcome in because we are not focused, right? We're too busy focusing on the things like, oh, I don't feel good, I'm so tired, oh, I'm hungry, oh, and all these things we're consumed with that have nothing to do with our purpose, right? And so when we are able to focus on those things that do give us the energy, that help us to stay focused, that we're training ourselves in such a way that we are strong and fit for every task that comes, right? A few weeks ago, we did an episode about the Proverbs 31 woman and really pulling out some real gems in there. So if you haven't listened to that, definitely go back, listen into that a few episodes ago. And it's so, so powerful. I will also link it here in the show notes so you can go back because I can't remember the exact name of it. But when we steward well, so right, we're preparing, we're planning, we're delegating, and we're implementing. So we're ensuring that we are taking care of our gift, our vessel, and investing in that vessel every day. Because each time you invest in that vessel, that's a seed planted. And those seeds are going to produce a harvest that you're going to be seeing 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years from now, right? And so what we do today, no matter what age you are, is going to impact you tomorrow. It's going to impact you a year from now. It's going to impact you decades from now. And so we can start right where we're at on stewarding better our body. So if you're in that place of category 1, to really help move into that category 2 of like, nope, I'm ready to take it back. Like I'm all in, right? Is uncover the stories you're telling yourself about why you have to lose this weight, or why you have to do this, or why you can't have that, or I only can have this many calories. Whatever you're focusing on that is in that lack space, really uncover the stories. What is it that you are believing that is not true according to the word of God, right? Because God is not a God of lack. And as you uncover these stories, ask yourself, is this truth? Right? If it's truth, that means it is the same for every single person on this planet. Right? If it's truth, that means it has to be the same for every single person. Right? So if it's not truth, then I encourage you to search the scriptures, right? To find a verse that sheds light on the truth of who you are. And so you're able to dispel that darkness, dispel that lie, and truly walk in that truth and have it as your affirmation, as your anchoring point each day. Put it up around your house, right? Have it saved as your backdrop and really start speaking life and renewing your mind, right? We're called to not conform to the patterns of this world, but to be renewed, right? We have to renew our mind daily. And so that means being mindful of what things are you taking in? Are there accounts you're following on social? Are there people you're under that you are getting, people are speaking into you, right? That actually make you feel bad or are making this belief that you have more prevalent in your life when it's really not true, right? Like we have to be careful what we allow to come into our lives and what people that speak into and over our lives to make sure it's in alignment with our assignment, right? And the third thing is I want to ask you is decide. You get to decide if you want to become the person that lives in category 2. The person who desires and has decided to steward better their body. They're going to start taking steps forward, right? Because you desire to live in and walk out the abundant life that Christ came to give you, right? And you know you need a strong and fit body in order to do that, right? And it doesn't need to take hours every day, right? And as you get a routine in place and you start focusing on the efforts that you can take to get you the outcome that you want, weight loss is a byproduct of you taking better care of your body. You will achieve a healthy weight for yourself. It's not dependent on the number on the scale. If you feel like you need to have a number, ask the Lord for it, right? And it's focusing on your nutrition, right? Eat more whole foods. It doesn't have to be hard. When you start focusing on whole foods, nutrient-dense foods, right? Things come out of the ground, swim in the sea, fly in the sky, crawl on the ground, whatever, right? We're eating quality protein. We're eating fruits and veggies, right? We're getting the nourishing foods in. The foods that are tempting, that are our trigger foods, right? When they're not in the forefront, they automatically fall to the wayside. You're not taking in as much because you're focused, right? You're focused on the protein, the fruits, the veggies, the whole foods, then there's less room for the junk food, right? And when we don't have the junk food in our eyesight, guess what? Guess what? Out of sight, out of mind. And so it makes it so much easier. And I get it. Like there's foods that trigger me and I can't have I had Pringles in my house. I usually don't have that stuff. I literally ate the whole can that day. I don't do that anymore. And so I was like, oh girl, you can't have those at all in your home. So, and those are junk food, right? And I know they're junk food. I'm someone who doesn't preach, you know, you have to be perfect, by no means. But I know that as I fuel my body with wholesome foods on a regular basis, when I have some of those things, they're not going to be detrimental to my health because my body's getting the nutrients that it needs. Now, eating a whole can of Pringles in one day, that's a different story, okay? So I was like, oh man. So let me tell you, my nutrition was on point the next day because I was feeling like crap. So there are things that are going to trigger you. So it's also being mindful of keeping those things out of your home, out of eyesight. If you got little kids and you have a place where the kids have their stuff, you know, if you allow them to have certain things that you don't eat or don't want to be consuming, then have it in a place where you don't see it every day. It's not in your normal things where you go and prepare your meals. Okay. So it's really a decision, my friend. And weight loss is just the surface. It's not about weight loss. It's truly about how do you want to feel? How do you want to show up? Right. And it's getting radically honest with yourself of really what is the heart behind that why? And is it in alignment with who God says you are? If it's not, then we need to check our heart. We need to get back into the word. We need to seek that godly counsel through the Holy Spirit so he can guide our thoughts. He can lead us, right, to take better care of the gift we've been given and invest in our vessel on a daily basis so we can reap that bountiful harvest of longevity and quality of life to do all the things we want to do, all the things that we're called to do with more ease and grace because we're strong and fit for every task that comes our way. So my friends, if you were needing guidance, if you're needing any support in your journey, know you're not alone. Okay, I've linked below my calendar. You can book a complimentary Strong and Fit Mom consult, and this is where we can really dive deeper and into your journey, where you're at, where you want to go, and start creating a roadmap that's for you, that's in alignment with your assignment, my friend, to help you steward better the body God has given you in a simple and practical way based on the principles of stewardship. So if that is you, my friend, feel free to look below. I'll also link that podcast episode for you about the Proverbs 31 woman. Great nuggets in there you can take, not just for your physical health, but for your daily life and living. So go out, be blessed. If you have questions, definitely book that call. And if you're not inside of the Strong and Fit Women of Faith Facebook group, I encourage you to come join us over there, get connected, get plugged in. There's lots of resources in there for you. So have a blessed day, my friends, and we'll see you then.